It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. The sun was shining and I had just married the man I loved with all my heart. Our courtship was the best I had ever experienced, so I was full of hope, ready to start a new chapter with Dayo. I believed I was walking into love, into family, into the future I had dreamed of since I was a girl. But the moment I stepped into his family home, that joy began to crack. His mother, Mama Kemi, looked me up and down like I was dead on her shoes. She didn't smile, didn't hug me, didn't congratulate me. Her first words were, "I don't know what good my son saw in you." I laughed nervously, waiting for someone to say she was joking. No one did. From that day, her disapproval followed me like a shadow. Nothing I did pleased her. If I cooked, she complained about the spices. If I cleaned, she reminded me she had done it better before I was born. If I dressed up, she said I was trying too hard. Dayo always told me, leave her, she will adjust. But she never did. If anything, her cruelty sharpened. The breaking point came one quiet afternoon. I returned from the market, humming to myself, and the air in the house felt wrong. I walked into the kitchen and stopped. A young woman stood at the counter, staring a pot like she owned the place. She turned, smiled at me, and I saw it. She was wearing my apron. Behind her, Mama Kemi stood proudly, arms folded. "This is Joy," she said with no emotion. "She is the kind of woman our family needs." And just like that, I felt my heart leave my body. Dayo walked in a few minutes later. He looked at me, then at them, and silently looked away. His silence agreed with everything happening. But listen, I did not pack it in. I did not walk out. I didn't give anyone the satisfaction of seeing me run. I stayed. I slept in my bed that night. A long, cold silence filled the room, but I stayed. Because that house was not ours to chase me from, not even his. I didn't argue, I didn't beg, I didn't defend myself, I just watched. Because sometimes silence is its own kind of fire. Days passed, Joy stayed. Mama Kemi paraded her around like a trophy. Dayo drifted, confused, ashamed, but too weak to speak. Then one day I started falling sick, dizzy, nauseous, tired. I went to the clinic and the nurse smiled. "Congratulations, you are pregnant." For the first time in months, I felt something warm. Hope. After everything, the insults, the humiliation, the silent wars, I believed things would change. A grandchild, I whispered to myself, touching my stomach. Maybe now Mama Kemi would soften. Maybe Dayo would open his eyes. Maybe this child will be my bridge back into love. I walked home with a small smile for the first time in a long time, but hope is fragile. When I told Dayo, he froze, then hugged me awkwardly. He didn't say much, but I saw relief in his eyes. Then Mama Kemi walked in. Her face twisted the moment she saw my smile. "What are you happy about?" she said. I'm pregnant," I said softly. Her reaction was instant and cruel. "Pregnant? With what?" "Pregnant when you can't even run a proper home," she hissed loudly. "Let me see if this one will even stay." I stood there trembling. Her words cut deeper than knives. Instead of acceptance, she became worse. When Joy heard I was pregnant, she quietly packed her things and left. I whispered to myself, battle one down. But I didn't know Mama Kemi had other plans for me. She made me mop floors until my back hurt. She shouted for every small mistake. She called me lazy, useless, cursed. She hid food from me. She told neighbors I trapped her son with a mistake of a pregnancy. Dayo tried once or twice to defend me, but Mama Kemi shut him down swiftly. "Must you defend her for everything? Do you think she's the only woman who can give you a child?" The house was no longer a home. It was a battlefield. I cried at night, holding my stomach, whispering apologies to the innocent life growing inside of me. But stress is a thief. By my 4th month, my body began to warn me. Cramps, pain, dizziness. I begged Mama Kemi for help. She rolled her eyes. "Will you die if you fetch water? All this drama for ordinary pregnancy." That evening, as I bent to lift a bucket she insisted I should carry, something tore inside me. The pain was sharp, blinding. All tears flooded my face. "Please, help," I whispered. Mama Kemi didn't even look up. I collapsed. A neighbor found me unconscious on the floor. By the time I woke up in the hospital, everything was gone. The doctor looked at me gently. "I'm sorry we couldn't save the baby." My world shattered. I cried until my throat burned. A part of me died on that hospital bed. Dayo came, guilt written all over him. He held my hand, but I couldn't feel anything. Mama Kemi didn't bother to show up. When I returned home, the silence told me everything. They didn't care, not about me, not about the child I lost, not about the pieces of myself scattered everywhere. That night, I stared at my reflection, eyes swollen, soul exhausted. For the first time since I married into that family, I saw myself clearly. A woman suffering, a woman shrinking, a woman dying slowly in a house that hated her. So I packed my bag, not out of fear, not out of weakness, but because the moment I lost my child, I found myself. When I walked out of that house, no one stopped me, not Dayo, not his mother. They watched me go like someone they were already done with. But God was not done with me. That walk, broken, slow, painful, was a walk into my real destiny. Because sometimes you must lose what you hope to save you to find what was meant to build you. Leaving that house felt like walking out of a burning building, choking, trembling, wounded but alive. For weeks, I stayed with a cousin, barely speaking, barely eating. The pain of losing my baby sat on my chest like a stone. But pain has a strange way of pushing you into purpose. I started volunteering at a small community center, helping women like me, women who had cried quietly in their marriages, women bruised by in-laws, women who needed someone to understand. And slowly I began to heal. One day at a community outreach event, I met Tomiwa. It wasn't dramatic or loud. It wasn't flashy. It was gentle, calm, observant, like someone who had survived storms and learned to respect rain. He noticed me carrying chairs and said softly, "Please, let me help." That was the beginning. Tomiwa didn't rush, he didn't push, he didn't treat me like a broken thing. He treated me like someone worth choosing. He listened to my silences, he respected my boundaries, he prayed with me, not over me. He held my pain without making me feel small. Months passed and my heart softened. God sent healing disguised as people. When he proposed, he didn't kneel. He held my hands and said, "I don't want to fix you. I want to grow with you." I didn't cry, I bloomed. Our wedding was small, peaceful, beautiful, filled with people who loved me, not tolerated me. Tomiwa's family embraced me like I had always been theirs. His mother hugged me and whispered, "My daughter, your joy is our joy." My heart healed in ways I never imagined. After I left, Mama Kemi pushed Dayo to remarry quickly. She wanted a woman who would erase my memory from the house. They found Dami. Sweet smile, respectful greetings, perfect behavior. But what no one knew was Dami could act, and she acted very well. The moment she married Dayo, her marks fell. She demanded money every week. She insulted Mama Kemi openly. She locked her bedroom door and slept till noon. She cooked when she felt like and ate like royalty. When Mama Kemi tried to correct her, she laughed. "I'm not your maid. If you want a servant, go and hire one." Dayo tried to talk. She shut him up instantly. "You can't even control your mother. How will you control me?" Neighbors whispered. "That house is burning." Mama Kemi cried daily. Dayo stopped smiling. Arguments shook the compound. Then the real pepper started. Dami began taking money from Dayo behind his back. Huge amounts, loans, debt, transfer. Before they knew it, she had drained half his savings. One night she vanished with clothes, jewelry and every kobo she could grab. She left a note. "I cannot suffer with a weak man. Bye." Dayo collapsed to the floor. Mama Kemi fainted. The whole neighborhood buzzed. You chased a good wife away for this. Life has taught them. Karma wears high heels. Tomiwa treated me like a queen. His family adored me. Peace lived in my home, not fear. Laughter lived in my kitchen, not insult. And slowly, beautifully, I discovered I was pregnant again. This time, joy didn't hurt. Tomiwa lifted me and spun me around, tears in his eyes. You deserve happiness, he whispered. Thank you for choosing me. As my belly grew, the life inside me grew strong. Every ultrasound was a miracle. Every kick was a promise. God restores, God replaces, God rewrites stories. The day I held my baby, my beautiful daughter, I cried tears of healing. This child wasn't from pain, she was from love. Years later, I walked past Dayo and Mama Kemi in the market. They looked older, smaller, defeated. Their eyes widened when they saw me, glowing, smiling, holding my daughter while my husband bought roasted plantain. Mama Kemi opened her mouth to speak. Dayo froze, guilt heavy in his eyes. I simply nodded politely and walked past them. No bitterness, no anger, just peace. Tomiwa slipped his arm around me and asked, "Do you know them?" I smiled gently. I used to, but that wasn't a life I've left behind. And as I walked away, my daughter giggling on my hip, I knew I had won. Not through revenge, not through shouting, not through fighting, but through transformation, through healing, through becoming more than the pain they gave me. Sometimes the people you love will fail you, and the home you hope for will break you. But your worth is not defined by who mistreats you. Walk away from pain, protect your peace, and trust that life will replace every loss with something better. The greatest victory is choosing yourself and finding joy again. Thank you for watching today's episode. Do well to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you are yet to do so. Till I come your way again with another beautiful story. Bye.